Welcome to Selling Power's Daily Report.
Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwantner, and today we are with Jim Dickey. And Jim is a partner with CSO Insight, one of the leading companies that does research on how chief sales executives think. Jim, welcome to Selling Power.
Thank you, Gerhard.
In your latest study, you have interviewed 1,275 chief sales officers. What are some of the most important trends that you've noticed in the marketplace?
I think, Gerhard, it's interesting because this is our 12th annual survey, so we've been tracking what's happened in the world of sales over a period of time. And what we really saw this year was a pretty good business uptick. In the business downturn in 2001, 2002, we saw sales performance plummet. But this year we saw quotas go up about 20%, and still the number of sales reps making quota went up. So we thought that was a very positive trend that, we're coming out of the business downturn, things are turning up. But it left us with a question: is the ability of salespeople to hit higher numbers because they're working harder or because they're working smarter? And what we're really finding is it's because they're working harder. And the reason I say that is if they were working smarter, we would have expected a number of other metrics to improve in terms of win rates, ability to sell value and avoid discounting, and therefore achieve maximum margins, conversion rates through the sales cycle. And all of those things were flat from year to year. So I think what happened is that salespeople made their numbers last year, but they threw their bodies in front of the problem. And that's not a sustainable strategy.
Let me ask you a question. I just read Deloitte did a survey of sales managers, and they found that 61% of those sales managers are dissatisfied with the performance of their salespeople. Do you correlate that?
We're definitely seeing the fact that you've only got, our study came out that 59% of salespeople are making their quotas. So if I'm a sales manager and I've only got 6 out of 10 people hitting the number, I think I would be very dissatisfied.
What do you think are the causes for that?
I think the real issue is that sales managers are trying to figure out, how do I deal with increasing the effectiveness of my people? I'm asking them to do a harder job. In most cases, when we said what's going on in the marketplace, they're seeing more competition. They're seeing the breadth and depth of their product lines change all the time. They're seeing their customers change all the time. And so it's an issue of frustration of how do I make these people more effective? And I think that's a challenge managers are struggling with.
And what are your recommendations for working smarter and not necessarily harder?
Well, there's 3 things that we saw come out of the study where people, as VPs of sales, are making bigger investments. And the first is in people. What we're doing right now is we're seeing a lot of companies starting to hire additional new salespeople, and they're looking for a higher quality rep. This year, as part of the study, we said, you're looking for what's the profile of the person you're hiring. And what came out was we want people who are not only experienced in sales, but also experienced in our industry. So one of the things they're looking for is, can I hire effectiveness? Can I go get the right people and put them out there without having to go through periods of time waiting for people to get up to speed quickly?
And what's your practical answer to that? Can you hire effectiveness?
What we found was when we took a look at ramp-up periods, there's an issue of you can't go, if I have a person leave, for example, who's a very, very good hire, and I replace them with somebody else who's experienced in our industry, there's still a ramp-up period. And we think those ramp-up periods are getting longer and longer based on the research. So you can hire effectiveness a little bit, but you're still going to go through a ramp-up. And if I have a quota making person who's hitting a $200 million or $2 million number and I replace them with somebody else who's experienced, I'm probably going to lose $1 million that first year getting that person up to speed.
What are some of the other investments that companies are making in the effectiveness of sales organizations?
Second thing that we saw was a lot more investment in process, and it's really kind of focusing on sales skills training in a lot of different ways. Sales skills was definitely up, but also training on how to sell into the marketplace, of teaching them about the customers they're going to be selling to, additional product training, additional negotiations and business plan training. So people are starting to invest in the overall skills type of stuff that a salesperson will need to be more effective. And when we've taken a look at companies who make a higher investment in those types of training programs, we definitely see a higher correlation in the performance they get. They have a higher percentage of sales reps who make quota, higher margins on those deals, shorter sales cycles, higher win rates. So we think that definitely process is going to be a big contributor to increased effectiveness.